The hum of activity in the Titan observation post suddenly ceased as the transmission cut through every channel. Grand Arbiter Kraltos's holographic visage, a mass of undulating tentacles and compound eyes, filled the screens. His resonant voice echoed through the station, sending chills down the spines of the human crew. Sentient beings of the Galactic Confederation, I come before you with grave news. The human species, once thought to be a potential ally, has revealed its true nature. We have irrefutable evidence of their involvement in heinous acts of terrorism against our peaceful colonies. Admiral Elias Strathmore's grip tightened on the command console, his knuckles turning white. He exchanged a look of disbelief with his second-in-command, Colonel Silas Ashford. The accusation was preposterous, but the conviction in the alien leader's voice was chilling. Zixler continued, his multifaceted eyes flickering with what could only be described as righteous fury. The Council has deliberated, and our decision is unanimous. The time has come to eliminate the human menace. We declare Earth's destruction a necessity for peace. The threat must be eliminated before it spreads like a virus through our civilization. The transmission cut off abruptly, plunging the command center into stunned silence. For a heartbeat, no one moved. Then, chaos erupted. Sir, we're detecting multiple warp signatures approaching the solar system. Lieutenant Gordon's voice cracked as he relayed the information. Strathmore's training kicked in, overriding the shock. Battle stations! Alert all outposts and Earth Command! This is not a drill! Alarms blared throughout the station as crew members scrambled to their positions. The peaceful routine of the observation post transformed into a frenzied preparation for war in mere seconds. Before Strathmore could issue further orders, the first volley of alien fire struck. The station shuddered violently, throwing personnel off their feet. Emergency lights flickered on as primary systems failed. Direct hit to our main power core! Ashford shouted over the cacophony of alarms and groaning metal. Shields at 30% and falling! Strathmore gritted his teeth, his mind racing through tactical options. Reroute all non-essential power to shields and weapons. Gordon, get me a sitrep on our fleet's position. As Gordon worked furiously at his console, reports flooded in from across the solar system. The Martian defense grid was under heavy assault. Luna Base had gone dark. The orbital shipyards around Jupiter were reporting critical damage. The aliens had struck with devastating precision, targeting key military installations and communication hubs. It was clear they had been planning this for some time, gathering intelligence and waiting for the perfect moment to strike. Strathmore's eyes narrowed as he assessed the situation. The initial shock was wearing off, replaced by a cold determination. Colonel, initiate Valkyrie Protocol. It's time we show these bastards what humans are really capable of. Ashford nodded grimly, his fingers flying over the command console. Throughout the solar system, hidden weapons platforms and stealth ships began to power up. The fruits of humanity's paranoia and preparation were about to be unveiled. On Earth, military leaders were already mobilizing. General George Hammond, the commander in Earth's upper echelons, coordinated the planet's defenses from his bunker deep beneath the Rocky Mountains. His voice, steady and resolute, cut through the panic on global communication channels. This is not a fight we asked for, but it's one we're damn well going to finish. Implementation of the Rebirth Protocol is now in effect. All sleeper cells and deep cover operatives, your time has come. Across alien-controlled space, humans who had been living undercover for years received their activation codes. Saboteurs, spies, and guerrilla fighters prepared to sow chaos behind enemy lines. Back on Titan, Strathmore watched as the first wave of alien ships entered visual range. Their vessels were sleek, organic-looking things that seemed to pulse with an inner light. Beautiful, in a terrifying way. Sir, Europa Base is reporting success with Project Medusa, Gordon called out, a hint of excitement in his voice. They're ready to deploy on your command. A grim smile spread across Strathmore's face. Project Medusa was a last resort weapon, a swarm of nanobots designed to infiltrate and disable alien technology. It was untested in real combat, but desperate times called for desperate measures. "Give them the green light," Strathmore ordered, "and prepare to launch our Phantom squadrons. Let's show these arrogant bastards why you don't pick a fight with humanity." As the order was relayed, a new kind of tension filled the air. The initial shock had passed, replaced by a steely resolve. Humanity had been caught off guard, but they were far from defeated. In fact, they were just getting started. The first human counterattack came not from a warship or a missile, but from a humble maintenance bot on one of Saturn's moons. Reprogrammed on the fly by a quick-thinking engineer, it latched onto an alien frigate and began to broadcast a powerful electromagnetic pulse, disrupting the ship's systems. It was a small victory, but it sparked a chain reaction of human ingenuity across the solar system. On Mars, colonists jury-rigged mining equipment into makeshift weapons. In the asteroid belt, prospectors used their deep space navigation skills to lay intricate traps for the invading forces. Admiral Strathmore watched the tactical display with growing satisfaction. The alien advance was slowing, confusion evident in their movements. They had expected a swift victory against an unprepared foe. Instead, they found themselves facing an enemy that grew more formidable with each passing minute. "Sir," Colonel Ashford called out, a note of awe in his voice, "you need to see this." On the main screen, a live feed from Earth appeared. It showed ordinary citizens forming human chains to rapidly construct makeshift fortifications. Engineers were modifying civilian vehicles for combat roles. Even children were contributing, using their gaming skills to pilot drone swarms that harassed alien ships. The sight filled Strathmore with a fierce pride. This was humanity at its finest, adaptable, resilient, and utterly unwilling to go down without a fight. "All right, people," he addressed his crew, his voice carrying the weight of command and the fire of determination. "The warm-up's over. It's time to show these aliens why picking a fight with humanity was the biggest mistake they've ever made. Let's make every shot count." As the Titan observation post prepared to join the fray in earnest, similar scenes were playing out across human-controlled space. The galaxy was about to learn a harsh lesson. Humans were not just another species to be conquered. They were a force of nature, unpredictable, innovative, and absolutely relentless when backed into a corner. A crackling transmission cut through the static at the Titan observation post. Captain Kane Lee's calm but firm voice carried a quiet anticipation as it echoed through the command center. "Admiral Strathmore, this is the Nebula Voyager. We've successfully infiltrated the alien fleet's communication network. You won't believe what we've uncovered." Strathmore's eyes widened. The Nebula Voyager, a stealth recon vessel, had been radio silent for months, deep in alien territory. "Report, Captain." "Sir, the alien's neural network is organic. It's susceptible to biochemical interference. We're transmitting the data now." As the information flooded in, a plan began to form in Strathmore's mind. He turned to his chief science officer, Dr. Isolde Kyle. "Doctor, can we weaponize this?" Kyle's fingers flew over her console, her eyes gleaming with the thrill of a new challenge. "Affirmative, Admiral. If we repurpose our terraforming nanites, we could create a virus that would wreak havoc on their systems." "Make it happen," Strathmore ordered, "and get me a secure line to all human outposts. It's time we coordinate our counterattack." Across the galaxy, human colonies and outposts that had been lying low now sprang into action. On the forest world of Verdant, botanist-turned-guerrilla fighter Dr. D. Tristan Yan activated dormant plant spores that had been genetically modified to interfere with alien sensors. Entire squadrons of enemy ships suddenly found themselves flying blind. In the asteroid mines of the Kuiper Belt, Chief Engineer Zara O'Neill reprogrammed mining drones into a swarm of agile, explosive projectiles. As the alien fleet attempted to secure the valuable resource-rich area, they found themselves caught in a deadly dance with machines that anticipated their every move. Meanwhile, on the gas giant Europa Nova, deep-sea colonists unleashed clouds of magnetized plasma, cleverly disguised as natural phenomena. Alien ships venturing too close found their systems scrambled, leaving them easy prey for swift strikes. Back on Titan, Strathmore watched as the pieces of humanity's resistance fell into place. Colonel Ashford, status on Project Medusa. Ashford grinned, a fierce light in his eyes. Nanites are primed and ready, sir, awaiting your command to deploy. Strathmore nodded, his voice resonating with determination. Launch the attack. Across the battlefield, microscopic swarms of repurposed terraforming nanites were released. Designed to adapt to any environment, they quickly infiltrated the organic components of the alien ships. Within minutes, the once coordinated alien assault began to falter. On the bridge of the alien flagship, Grand Arbiter Kralthos writhed in confusion and rage. His neural links to the fleet were dissolving, replaced by chaotic feedback and nonsensical data. What is happening? How are these vermin doing this? His second-in-command, Sub-Arbiter Crixon, struggled to make sense of the rapidly deteriorating situation. Celestial Lord, our ships, they're turning against each other. Our weapons systems are firing randomly. As the alien fleet descended into chaos, humanity's counteroffensive kicked into high gear. From hidden bases on moons, asteroids, and deep space stations, human ships emerged from stealth mode. They struck with precision, exploiting the weaknesses created by the nanite attack. In the Orion Arm, the human mining colony on Ceres Prime revealed its true nature. What the aliens had dismissed as primitive extraction equipment suddenly transformed into a massive railgun array. Projectiles accelerated to near-light speed, tore through the alien blockade, opening a path for human refugees to escape. Admiral Nikolai Petrov, commanding Earth's orbital defense grid, seized the moment. All units, this is our chance. Initiate Operation Slingshot. The orbital platforms, which had been slowly adjusting their positions under the guise of debris avoidance, suddenly aligned. They created a gravitational corridor that human ships used to slingshot around the planet at incredible speeds, catching the disoriented alien forces in a pincer movement. As reports of human victories poured in from across the galaxy, Strathmore permitted himself a fleeting moment of cold pride, but he knew the fight was far from over. Gordon, get me a secure line to General Hammond on Earth. It's time for Phase 2. In his underground command center, General George Hammond received Strathmore's transmission. His team had been working tirelessly, coordinating the global defense while preparing for this moment. Admiral, the rebirth protocol is fully activated. Our sleeper agents are in position and awaiting the signal. Strathmore's voice was steady, but there was an undercurrent of anticipation. Give them the green light, General. Let's bring this fight to the enemy's doorstep. Across alien-controlled space, human operatives who had been living undercover for years received their activation codes. On the alien capital world of Zinthar, a seemingly lowly maintenance worker named Aaron Halsey accessed a hidden terminal. With a few keystrokes, he uploaded a virus that began to rewrite the planet's atmospheric control systems. In the sprawling shipyards of Erithari, Dr. Lydia Ryan, posing as an alien collaborator, initiated a subroutine in the production line's AI. Newly constructed alien warships began to subtly malfunction, their navigation systems compromised. On the frontier world of Helbara, colonial governor Malik Adar, long thought to be a traitor to humanity, revealed his true colors. He activated a hidden signal that turned the planet's defense grid against the alien occupiers, trapping them on the surface. As chaos spread through alien-controlled space, the tide of battle shifted dramatically. Human forces, once on the defensive, now pressed their advantage with ruthless efficiency. In the Meridian Outpost, a small team of human scientists led by Dr. Renji Hayakawa had been working on a revolutionary spatial displacement system. As alien forces closed in on their seemingly insignificant research station, Hayakawa activated the prototype. The entire station phased out of normal space, reappearing behind the alien fleet and unleashing a barrage of experimental weapons that shredded the enemy's rear guard. Meanwhile, in the heart of alien territory, the true purpose of the long-range probe Voyager 3 was revealed. Thought to be a primitive attempt at interstellar communication, it suddenly came to life, broadcasting a signal that disrupted the aliens' faster-than-light communications network. Entire sectors of enemy-controlled space were suddenly cut off from Central Command. Back on Titan, Admiral Strathmore received an urgent transmission from the Nebula Voyager. Captain Lee's voice crackled through, steady and precise. "Admiral, we've identified the alien command hub. It's a massive space station orbiting a black hole in the Cygnus sector. They're using the gravitational distortions as a natural defense." Strathmore's mind raced with the possibilities. "Good work, Captain. Stand by for further orders." He turned to his team, a plan already forming. "Dr. Kale, remember that crazy idea you had about using wormholes as weapons?" Kale's eyes widened. "The Einstein-Rosen bridge cannon?" "But sir, it's purely theoretical. We've never tested it in combat conditions." "No time like the present, Doctor," Strathmore said coldly. "Get a team together. You have 6 hours to make it operational." As Kale hurried off, Strathmore addressed the rest of his command staff. "This is our chance to end this war before it truly begins. I want every available ship ready to move on my command. We're taking the fight directly to their leadership." Across human space, the message spread. Ships of all sizes, from massive dreadnoughts to nimble fighters, began to converge. Civilian vessels were quickly retrofitted for combat roles. Every available resource was poured into this final decisive push. In orbit around Jupiter, the massive shipyards that had been burning just hours ago were now a hive of frenetic activity. Engineers worked at breakneck speed, fitting ships with experimental weapons and defenses. The fruits of 100 classified research projects were unleashed, technologies that had been deemed too dangerous or unpredictable for peacetime use. On Mars, the subterranean cities that had served as shelter during the initial attack now became command centers for the counteroffensive. Strategic AI, quantum computers that could process battlefield information faster than any organic mind, coordinated the movements of the human fleet with unprecedented precision. As the hours ticked by, tension mounted across human-controlled space. This was to be humanity's defining moment, a battle that would determine not just the outcome of this war, but the future of the species and the galactic community. In his command center on Titan, Admiral Strathmore stood before a holographic display of the galaxy, watching as the human forces gathered strength. The alien fleet, still reeling from the nanite attack and the activation of sleeper agents, was in disarray. But Strathmore knew better than to underestimate them. The element of surprise had given humanity an edge, but the aliens still outnumbered and outgunned them. "Sir," Colonel Ashford called out, "Dr. Kale reports that the Einstein-Rosen bridge cannon is operational. It's been fitted to the dreadnought Humanity's Hope." Strathmore nodded, his expression determined. "Tell all ships to prepare for jump. We launch in 10 minutes. As the countdown began, Strathmore addressed his forces one last time. "Men and women of Earth and her colonies, this is Admiral Strathmore. In a few moments, we will embark on the most important mission in human history. The aliens thought they could crush us with a single, overwhelming strike. They thought we were weak, divided, unprepared. They were wrong." He paused, his voice steady and resolute. "We've shown them the unyielding spirit of humanity, our ingenuity, our resilience, and our relentless will to endure. Now we will demonstrate our true strength, not just the power of our weapons or technology, but the unparalleled force of a united human race. This battle will decide the fate of our species. Win or lose, the galaxy will remember this day. They will remember that, when faced with extinction, humanity did not go quietly into the night. We stood, we fought, and we endured. For Earth, for every human world, for the future of our children and generations yet to come, attack." With that final command, the largest human fleet ever assembled jumped into action. Thousands of ships, from every corner of human-controlled space, leapt into faster-than-light travel, converging on the Cygnus sector. As they dropped out of FTL near the alien command hub, the battle that would decide the fate of humanity began in earnest. The Einstein-Rosen bridge cannon fired its first shot, tearing a hole in space-time that swallowed an entire squadron of alien dreadnoughts. The human fleet surged forward, unleashing a barrage of conventional and experimental weapons. Plasma torpedoes, graviton beams, and swarms of AI-controlled fighter drones overwhelmed the alien defenses. But the aliens were far from defeated. Their command hub, a massive structure that dwarfed even the largest human ships, began to power up its main weapon. A beam of energy, so intense it distorted the fabric of space around it, lashed out at the human fleet. In that moment, as destruction loomed, humanity's true strength shone through. Ships from different colonies, which had been rivals just days ago, moved in perfect coordination to shield each other. Experimental defense systems were pushed to their limits and beyond. And in the heart of the human fleet, the humanity's hope prepared for one final desperate gambit. As the battle raged across the galaxy, a different kind of warfare was unfolding in the shadowy realm of intelligence and counterintelligence. Admiral Strathmore knew that winning the physical conflict was only half the battle. To truly end this war, they needed to uncover the truth behind the aliens' sudden aggression. In a heavily fortified bunker beneath the Martian surface, a team of Earth's best and brightest had been assembled. Led by the brilliant and unorthodox Colonel Dante Quinn, the newly formed Xeno Intelligence Division was tasked with unraveling the mystery behind the alien accusations. Quinn surveyed his team, a motley crew of hackers, xenolinguists, behavioral analysts, and quantum computing specialists. Ladies and gentlemen, we have less than 24 hours to prevent the extinction of our species. Let's make them count. Dr. Corwin Ishida, a leading expert in alien psychology, stepped forward. We need to approach this from multiple angles. The accusation of terrorism doesn't align with known human activities in alien space. There's a missing piece to this puzzle. Agreed, said Mira Kalin, a former black hat hacker turned cybersecurity expert. We need to get into their systems, see what they're seeing. Quinn nodded. Kalin, you and your team focus on infiltrating their communication networks. Dr. Ishida, I want you and the analysts to comb through every scrap of intel we have on alien political structures. Look for factions, dissent, anything that might explain this sudden shift in policy. As the team dispersed, Quinn turned to his second in command, Major David Vaughn. David, I need you to coordinate with our deep cover agents. If there's chatter about this on the alien street, I want to know about it. The next few hours were a whirlwind of activity. Kalin and her team worked tirelessly, probing the alien networks for weaknesses. It was Dr. Ishida who made the first breakthrough. Colonel, I found something, he called out, his eyes wide with excitement. There's a pattern in the xenopolitical data. A small but influential faction has been steadily gaining power within the alien confederation. They call themselves the Purists. Quinn leaned in, studying the holographic display. What's their angle? Xenophobia, sir, Ishida replied. They believe in the superiority of their species and see other races, especially emerging ones like humanity, as a threat to their dominance. Before Quinn could respond, Kalin's voice cut through the room. We're in. We've managed to access a lower-level communication node. The team gathered around her station, watching as alien data streams flowed across the screens. For a moment, it seemed like an indecipherable mess of symbols and code. Then, slowly, patterns began to emerge. It's encrypted, Kalin muttered, her fingers flying over the keyboard. But the encryption, it's familiar. Almost like they reverse-engineered it from our own systems, Quinn finished, his eyes narrowing. Can you crack it? Kalin grinned. Give me an hour. As Kalin worked her magic, the rest of the team continued to piece together the puzzle. Dr. Ishida and his analysts dug deeper into the Purist faction, mapping out their influence and connections within the alien government. Major Vaughn's report from the deep cover agents added another layer to the mystery. Sir, our operatives are reporting unusual movement patterns among alien civilian populations. It's like they're being herded away from certain areas. Quinn's mind raced, connecting the dots. They're isolating potential dissenters, controlling the narrative. Just then, Kalen let out a triumphant shout. "We're in! Full access to their secondary communication network." The screens lit up with a flood of alien communications. The team worked feverishly, translating and analyzing the data in real time. Slowly, a horrifying picture began to emerge. "Colonel," Dr. Ishida said, his voice grave, "the terrorist attacks they're accusing us of, they never happened. The purists fabricated the entire thing." Quinn's fists clenched. "How?" "False flag operations," Major Vaughn explained, pointing to a series of decoded transmissions. "They used ships disguised as human vessels to attack their own colonies. But that's not all. They've been manipulating sensor data, creating false evidence of human aggression for months." The room fell silent as the implications sank in. They weren't just fighting a war. They were fighting a carefully orchestrated lie. Quinn's mind raced with the possibilities. "Kalen, can you use this access to dig deeper? I want everything they have on this operation." Kalen nodded, diving back into the alien systems with renewed determination. As she worked, the rest of the team continued to analyze the growing mountain of evidence. Dr. Ishida made another startling discovery. "Colonel, look at this. The purists didn't just manipulate their own people. They've been feeding false information to their entire intelligence apparatus for years. Most of the alien military genuinely believes we're a threat." Quinn nodded grimly. "They've created a self-fulfilling prophecy. By pushing us into a corner, they've forced us to fight back, confirming their lies in the eyes of their people." As the team worked to unravel the complex web of deception, a message came through from Admiral Strathmore. The human counteroffensive was gaining ground, but the aliens were becoming increasingly desperate. They needed to expose the truth, and fast. Kalen suddenly sat up straight, her eyes wide. "Colonel, I found something big. It's a sealed communication channel, heavily encrypted. Whatever it is, they really don't want anyone to see it." Quinn leaned in. "Can you crack it?" Kalen hesitated. "Maybe, but it'll take time. Time we don't have." It was then that Dr. Ishida had an epiphany. What if we don't need to crack it? What if we could predict what's in it? The team looked at him in confusion. Ishida continued, excitement building in his voice. "We've been analyzing their psychology, their patterns of behavior. What if we could use that to construct a message so convincing, so perfectly aligned with their expectations that they believe it's genuine?" Quinn's eyes lit up. "A false flag. We feed them their own medicine." The team sprang into action. Dr. Ishida and his analysts worked to craft a message that would perfectly align with the purists' expectations. Kalen and her hackers prepared to insert it into the alien networks, making it seem like it had always been there. As they worked, Major Vaughn coordinated with the human fleet, preparing them for the moment the truth would be revealed. Every ship, every soldier, every asset was positioned to take maximum advantage of the coming chaos. Hours ticked by, each second feeling like an eternity. Finally, Kalen looked up from her console. "It's ready. On your command, Colonel." Quinn took a deep breath, feeling the weight of humanity's future on his shoulders. "Do it." With a few keystrokes, Kalen sent the carefully crafted message into the alien networks. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, all at once, the alien communications exploded with activity. "It's working!" Ishida exclaimed, watching as the data poured in. "They're believing it." The message, a supposed top-secret communication between purist leaders, detailed the entire false flag operation. It confirmed the fabrication of evidence, the manipulation of sensor data, even the use of disguised ships to attack their own people. But more than that, it revealed the purists' ultimate goal: to use the war with humanity as a pretext to seize total control of the alien confederation. As the truth spread like wildfire through the alien networks, the impact was immediate and devastating. Confusion and chaos erupted among the alien forces. Ships stopped in mid-attack, commanders demanded confirmation of orders, and entire battle groups began to stand down. Quinn watched the unfolding chaos with a mixture of relief and satisfaction. "Get me Admiral Strathmore. He needs to know what we've found." As the team prepared their report, Dr. Ishida made one final discovery. "Colonel, the purists, they didn't just target us. There's evidence here of similar operations against other species. They've been manipulating galactic politics for decades." Quinn nodded, the full scope of the situation becoming clear. As the truth about the purists' deception began to spread like wildfire through the alien networks, the once unified Confederation forces descended into chaos. In the command center on Titan, Admiral Strathmore received Quinn's report with a mix of shock and determination. The truth was a powerful weapon, but wielding it required precision and care. "Colonel Quinn," Strathmore's voice crackled over the comm, "your team has done exemplary work. Now we need to use this information to end this war once and for all." Quinn nodded, already formulating plans. "Understood, Admiral. What are your orders?" "Prepare a comprehensive data package. Everything you've uncovered, all the evidence. We're going to broadcast it to every corner of the galaxy. But first, we need to get it to the alien civilian population. If we can turn public opinion, we can force their leadership to the negotiating table." As Quinn's team worked to compile the data, human ships across the battlefield began to shift tactics. Instead of pressing the attack, they focused on defensive maneuvers, protecting civilian targets, and neutralizing only the most aggressive alien forces. Meanwhile, human hackers and communications experts worked tirelessly to break through the alien media blockade. They hijacked communication relays, reprogrammed entertainment broadcasts, and used every trick in the book to spread the truth to the alien populace. The effect was electric. As more and more aliens learned of the purists' deception, protests erupted across their worlds. Military personnel began to question their orders, and political leaders scrambled to distance themselves from the purist faction. In the midst of this chaos, Quinn received an unexpected transmission. It was from a group claiming to be alien resistance fighters, beings who had suspected the purists' lies and had been working in secret to expose them. "This is our chance," Quinn told his team. "If we can verify their identity and intentions, we could have powerful allies on the inside." As they worked to establish a secure communication channel with the alien resistance, reports came in from across the galaxy. The purist faction was crumbling, its leaders fleeing or being arrested by their own people. The alien military, now aware of the deception, was standing down in greater numbers. "Sir," his communications officer reported, "we're picking up increased chatter across all alien frequencies. They're arguing amongst themselves." Strathmore nodded, his eyes fixed on the holographic battle map. "It's time to press our advantage. Contact all fleet commanders. Operation Shattered Mirror is a go." Across the battlefield, human ships began to move with renewed purpose. The plan was audacious, relying on the confusion and disarray now spreading through the alien ranks. As the truth of the purists' lies reached more and more alien soldiers and commanders, the Confederation's chain of command began to crumble. On the alien dreadnought Unyielding Fist, Commander Drenkaris stared in disbelief at the message displayed on his screen. It detailed the purists' manipulation, the false flag attacks, the years of carefully crafted lies. His mandibles clicked in agitation as he turned to his second-in-command. "Verify this immediately," he ordered, his voice trembling with barely contained rage. "And get me a direct line to High Command. I want answers." But High Command was in disarray. As the truth spread, accusations flew back and forth between different factions. Some denied the allegations vehemently, while others began to turn on the purists, seeking to distance themselves from the deception. Back on the Tempest, Strathmore received a transmission from Colonel Quinn's intelligence team. "Admiral," Quinn's voice crackled through, "we've finally made contact with the alien resistance. They're offering to help coordinate with sympathetic elements within the Confederation fleet." Strathmore's eyes narrowed. "Can they be trusted?" "We believe so, sir. They've provided verifiable intelligence that corroborates what we've uncovered. More importantly, They have access to communication channels we can't reach. The Admiral nodded. Very well. Coordinate with them, but stay alert. This could still be a trap. As Quinn's team worked with the alien resistance, human ships continued to broadcast the truth on all frequencies. The message was clear. The war was based on lies, and the human forces were standing down from offensive operations. They called for an immediate ceasefire and open dialogue. Aboard the Unyielding Fist, Commander Drenkaris made his decision. All ships under my command, he broadcast, his voice firm despite the turmoil in his hearts. Stand down. We will not be party to this deception any longer. Similar scenes played out across the battlefield as more and more alien commanders chose to stand down or even defect. The once mighty Confederation fleet was tearing itself apart from within. Strathmore saw his opportunity. All ships, execute Phase 2 of Operation Shattered Mirror. Target Purist-controlled vessels and command centers only. Let's cut the head off this snake. Human vessels surged forward, their movements precise and coordinated. They struck with surgical precision, disabling key Purist ships and installations while avoiding fire from the confused and disorganized remainder of the alien fleet. Strathmore watched as the massive alien command hub, a space station that had once coordinated the entire invasion fleet, began to list to one side. Its defenses flickered and died as internal conflicts reached a boiling point. "Sir," his tactical officer reported, "the alien command hub is vulnerable. Their shields are down, and we're detecting multiple hull breaches." Strathmore nodded grimly. "Prepare boarding parties. I want that station taken intact if possible. The intelligence we could gather there could end this war for good." As human assault shuttles raced towards the crippled command hub, the rest of the fleet continued to press their advantage. The Purist-controlled ships, now revealed as the true enemies, found themselves caught between the human assault and their own former allies. In the midst of the chaos, a transmission cut through the noise. It was Grand Arbiter Kraltos, the alien leader who had declared war on humanity mere hours ago. His once proud visage now seemed haggard and desperate. "This is Grand Arbiter Kraltos to all Confederation forces," he began, his voice trembling. I have been deceived. We have all been deceived. I call for an immediate ceasefire and—" The transmission cut off abruptly, replaced by the stern countenance of a different alien. This one bore the insignia of the Purist faction. "Disregard that last transmission," the new voice commanded. "It is a human trick. Continue the assault." "For the purity of our race!" But the damage was done. The brief transmission from Kraltos, combined with the evidence already spreading through the ranks, was the final blow to the Purists' control. Across the battlefield, more and more alien ships powered down their weapons, signaling their surrender. Strathmore turned to his communications officer. "Broadcast on all frequencies. To all alien vessels, we accept your surrender. Power down your weapons and prepare to be boarded. Any ship that continues hostile action will be treated as an enemy combatant." As human ships moved to secure their new prisoners, the assault on the alien command hub reached its climax. Elite human boarding teams, their armor equipped with adaptive camouflage that shifted to match the alien environment, fought their way through the station's winding corridors. Leading the charge was Gordon, Quinn's second-in-command. "Remember," he told his team as they breached another security checkpoint, "we're here to capture, not kill. These aliens are victims of the Purists as much as we are." The fighting was fierce, but brief. Most of the alien defenders, upon realizing the truth of their situation, laid down their arms. Those that didn't were quickly overwhelmed by the highly trained human operatives. As Gordon's team approached the central command center, they encountered an unexpected ally. An alien, bearing the marks of high rank, stood with hands raised in surrender. "I am Sub-Arbiter Crixon," he announced. "I wish to defect. I have information about the Purists' plans." Gordon eyed him warily but nodded. "Come with us. But know that if this is a trick, you won't live to regret it." With Crickson's help, the human forces quickly secured the command hub. As Gordon's team began to sift through the vast amounts of data stored in the station's computers, a chilling discovery was made. "Major," one of the tech specialists called out, "you need to see this. It's a hidden transmission sent just before we breached the command center." Gordon leaned in, his eyes widening as he read the message. "Get this to Admiral Strathmore immediately. The Purists have a failsafe." Back on the Tempest, Strathmore received Gordon's urgent transmission. The Purists, it seemed, had anticipated the possibility of their defeat. Hidden throughout human-controlled space were sleeper agents and autonomous weapon platforms, primed to unleash devastating attacks on civilian targets. "They're trying to force us to keep fighting," Strathmore realized, his fists clenching. "If we don't, they'll make it look like we're the monsters they claimed we were." But even as the situation seemed to darken, hope emerged from an unexpected quarter. The alien resistance, working in concert with Quinn's intelligence team, had uncovered the locations of many of these hidden threats. More importantly, they had found a way to neutralize them. "It's a kill switch," Quinn explained to Strathmore. "The Purists, in their arrogance, created a master deactivation code for all their weapons. Our alien allies found it buried in the data we extracted from their systems." Strathmore nodded, a cold smile spreading across his face. "Then let's use it. Coordinate with all our forces. I want every one of those hidden weapons neutralized." As human and allied alien forces raced to deactivate the Purists' failsafe, the battle in space entered its final stages. The remaining Purist-controlled ships, realizing their defeat was imminent, launched a desperate suicidal attack on the human fleet. But the humans were ready. Using tactics and technologies honed over hours of intense combat, they met the Purist assault head-on. Adaptive shield generators absorbed and redirected enemy fire, while quantum-linked targeting systems allowed for precision strikes that disabled rather than destroyed the attacking ships. In the end, it was over in a matter of minutes. The last Purist vessel, its engines crippled and weapons silenced, drifted helplessly in space. In just a few short hours, humanity had gone from the brink of extinction to achieving a victory that would reshape the galaxy. They had faced an enemy that outgunned and outnumbered them, armed with little more than their wits, courage, and an unwavering determination to survive. But Strathmore knew the real work was just beginning. As he prepared to contact Earth with news of their victory, he pondered the challenges that lay ahead. How would humanity handle its newfound position on the galactic stage? How could they turn this victory into a lasting peace? One thing was certain: the galaxy would never be the same again. And humanity, the species that had been dismissed as primitive upstarts mere hours ago, would play a central role in shaping its future. As the last echoes of battle faded, Strathmore straightened his uniform and turned to his communications officer. "Get me a channel to Earth Command," he ordered. "It's time to let them know that not only have we survived, but we've changed the course of galactic history." The officer nodded, and as the familiar tones of an establishing connection filled the bridge, Strathmore allowed himself a small smile. Against all odds, humanity had prevailed, and their greatest adventure was just beginning. Months after the war's end, as the new galactic order began to stabilize, Admiral Strathmore stood aboard the observation deck of Concordia Station, the newly constructed headquarters of the Galactic Council. Below him, the blue marble of Earth slowly rotated, while all around, ships of various alien designs moved in carefully choreographed patterns. Colonel Quinn joined him, looking out at the star-studded expanse. "Did you ever imagine it would turn out like this?" he asked quietly. Strathmore shook his head. "Never in my wildest dreams. We went from facing extinction to helping shape the future of the galaxy in a matter of hours. It's humbling." Quinn nodded. "The real question is, where do we go from here?" As if in answer, a soft chime indicated an incoming transmission. A holographic display sprang to life, showing a star map of a distant sector. "Gentlemen," a voice announced, We've detected an anomaly that doesn't match any known phenomenon. We believe it may be evidence of something beyond our current understanding of the universe." Strathmore and Quinn exchanged a look, a familiar glint of excitement in their eyes. The same spirit that had allowed humanity to overcome impossible odds now drove them to explore the unknown. "Prepare a ship," Strathmore ordered. "It's time for humanity to take its next great leap." As preparations for the new mission began, news of the discovery spread rapidly across Earth and its colonies. The excitement was palpable. Humanity, so recently on the brink of annihilation, was now poised to push the boundaries of known space. The ship chosen for this historic mission was the Endeavour, a state-of-the-art vessel that combined the best of human ingenuity with carefully integrated alien technology. Its crew, a mix of seasoned veterans from the war and bright young minds from Earth's top scientific institutions, represented the best humanity had to offer. On the day of launch, millions gathered to watch, both in person and via holographic projections. Admiral Strathmore, standing at the podium before the assembled crowd, felt the weight of the moment. "Today," he began, his voice carrying across the hushed audience, "we embark on a journey not just of exploration, but of redemption. Mere months ago, we fought for our very survival. Now we reach out to the stars not in fear, but in hope, not in aggression, but in curiosity." He paused, looking out at the sea of faces before him. Humans stood shoulder to shoulder with alien allies, a sight that would have been unthinkable before the war. "We go forward, carrying the lessons of our past, both the triumphs and the tragedies. We go to seek new knowledge, new understanding, and perhaps most importantly, to forge new bonds of friendship across the cosmos." As Strathmore concluded his speech, the Endeavour's engines flared to life. The crowd cheered as the ship rose majestically into the sky, quickly becoming a distant point of light among the stars. Aboard the ship, Colonel Quinn, now captain of the Endeavour, looked out at the receding Earth. "Admiral," he said over the comm link, "any final words before we make the jump?" Strathmore's voice came through clear and strong. "Remember why we're out there, Dante. Not for glory, not for conquest, but for the betterment of all sentient life. Make us proud." With a final acknowledgement, Quinn gave the order. In a flash of light, the Endeavour disappeared into the depths of space, carrying with it the hopes and dreams of not just humanity, but of a united galaxy. Hey there again. I'm glad you've come so far. Hope you enjoyed the video. Remember to hit the like button and the subscribe button. This is really important to the channel. Really important. And I have one more thing for you. I've chosen another video for you to watch. Just click the card here, or here if you want the whole playlist. See you there.